I'm Christine Deaton, and today we are doing Fed Up Talking Treats. So fast, easy, delicious talking, and we got some treats today. The treats are geared towards Valentine's Day. How's everybody doing out there? Okay, come on over because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So the first dessert that I'm making today is strawberry bread. It's the Fed Up way, okay? So we're going to get started on that because I want to get the breads in the oven. I'm going to be putting them in the little mini pans because that'll cook quicker. It's going to be little delicious loaves that I can give out as gifts for Valentine's Day. So let's get started. How's everybody doing out there? I hope everybody's well and keeping warm because it is really cold. We were supposed to have my family at the table today, but the roads are frozen. I mean, they've shut down Tanger Mall. Yeah, I mean, they're just advising everybody to stay home because the roads literally are ice. And so it's very dangerous. So rather than risk anybody getting over here to do the show today, we've got everybody on camera. So when I go to sit at the table to talk about food and COVID, by the way, today, we'll be seeing them, but just in their homes because it really was a little too dangerous to have everybody come out today. Okay, white cake mix. I love working with cake mix because it cuts a bunch of steps short. You don't have to do the baking soda, the baking powder, and the measurements and all this stuff. It's all in there. So it makes life very easy, which makes it fast, easy, and delicious. Okay, full white cake mix. I found this really cool Sonic strawberry shake pudding, okay? So you need one package of strawberry pudding, instant strawberry pudding. Just put it right in. Ooh, it smells good already. Wow, that's a great strawberry smell. Okay, and of course, we're doing things for Valentine's Day, red, anything with red and stuff like that. So I kept it where I wanted to gear something in the desserts that would show Valentine's Day. I'm anxious to show you what I'm going to be doing next also. Okay, so I have a cake mix. I've got my pudding. I'm going to be putting 4 eggs in there. Remember, guys, this is just so fast. And then we're going to put them in the little loaf pans, okay? 3, 4. I'm putting 1 cup of water, okay? Clean as you go. Always remind you. Half a cup of oil, okay? I want to make sure I get all the oil out. I hope everybody's doing well out there. What do you think about this extended winter? I don't know. I don't think I'm a fan. What's his name? The Punxsutawney, what's his name? Phil?
Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney or whatever his name is. He came out and saw his shadow, and that's the end of that. So we have 6 more lovely weeks of winter. Now, with all of us being from Arizona, we never really got a winter, but we're making up for it. Out here because it's cold.
We are this year.
This year, last year, remember, we were here for like our first full winter, and it wasn't bad. I go, wow, this is pretty nice. You still got winter, but this year, it's icy winter, and it's very, very, very cold. Okay, I want to show you this right here. Okay, remember, we're making a bread. It's going to kind of be, you know, bread, cake. It's going to be a little thicker than a cake would be, a little heavier. So we put it in the category of bread. Okay?
Victoria is with us. Hello,
Hello,
Victoria.
Vicki. How are you, honey?
She says she's not happy about all the extra winter, but the cats get more cuddles.
That's true. Okay.
And so does Ash, and she doesn't. She's happy to be outside more.
Yes, that's for sure.
That's a furry dog that probably doesn't mind the cold so much.
I put a cup of, I have fresh strawberries. I cut them up pretty small, okay? That's going in the batter. And you can use frozen strawberries. We were actually surprised that we got fresh strawberries because it's been so cold and everything. And we thought, well, they're not going to be in the store, but they're here. So we got, I think think, the last one off the shelf
I
last
did.
night.
The last one last night.
The last one last night.
I'm going to back up here a moment. I hear one of the other kids trying to get into our...
You go right ahead. All I'm going to be doing right now, guys, is putting the batter in my little loaf pans. Ooh, this is smelling so good. Holy cow. Okay. I'm going to just use the ice cream scoop because I want even little loaves. And it may take like maybe a scoop and a half in each loaf. I think that'll work. Yeah, about a scoop and a half into each little loaf here. And I'm probably going to have enough batter to maybe make a few more once these are done. Yep, that's going to be a perfect size little loaf. For my family that's waiting to talk, I'll still wrap it and everything. I was going to give you guys your own individual little loaves. I'll still do that, but obviously we won't get it to you today. The kids are all home. Yeah, even the schools are shut down today. Kids are all home doing virtual schooling, which anymore is turning out to be what school is. Between COVID and weather, the kids have done a lot of virtual schooling this year. But, you know, the kids are troopers, man. They're doing it. You know what I mean? And we're in a time where you can do that. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that. They don't lose any education. They're still home getting all their lesson plans done. So kudos for that. Okay, look at this. How nice. These are going to be perfect, beautiful little loaves and really neat little gifts for Valentine's Day.
And you're right, it does smell good.
Right? It smells really, really good.
Can't wait to get them baking.
The kitchen is already smelling amazing, and we really didn't do anything yet but make the batter. So today's topic, guys, food and COVID. Now, does that sound like it goes together? But it does, because COVID even changed how we eat, where we eat, when we eat, and all that stuff. So it does. It's a discussion to have, because, I mean, it's changed a lot of things, which we'll be talking about shortly. I want to put a little bit more in this one, and a little bit more in this one.
I'll let you do that. I gotta get, I think Ash is coming in. Yeah, we got Ashley coming in.
Okay, guys, I'm just letting you know that I'm putting this on the middle rack in the oven. I'm going to set the timer for about 20 minutes, and then we'll check the little loaves. And they look beautiful. Okay, our next dessert is actually a pretty neat little treat, especially for kids. So I'm going to be melting. Now, I've never used these before, but they're fabulous because they're already tempered and everything. So they're candy melts, and you can actually ice cookies and stuff. And it's great because all you got to do is stick it in the microwave. Okay, so for today I've got vanilla and I've got chocolate. Okay, we're going to put them in the microwave. I have them in one of my little mason jars, and I'm going to start it out at 30 seconds. Okay, mix it up. The goal is to melt all of the chocolate, and then we're going to take, I've already got some done, but I'm going to show you how, Oreo cookies, and I put them on a lollipop stick. So let's hope the cookie doesn't break. Did you guys see that? Here, I'm going to do it on here. I found it easier. Can you see that, guys? I just stuck it in the middle of the cookie. Okay, you put the lollipop stick in the middle. Chris, I don't know if you can get this. Right in the middle of the Oreo. Now, it is much better if you get the double stuffed Oreo. These are the lemon ones, and I don't know if they come double stuffed or not. These are just the regular Oreo lemon, which I love the lemon Oreos. What do we got going on over there?
Bailey's wanting to join in.
Well,
hey,
good.
let's get Bailey on the screen there too.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, and now once I get my chocolate melted, which it's starting to happen right there, let me mix this up. once I get the chocolate all melted, all we're going to do is dip the cookies. Let's do it 30-second intervals at a time. What are they talking about over there? You can get them for a while.
Oh, let's see. Who we got back here? Well, we've got Emily and Jennifer and Ashley. Elizabeth's frozen.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. All right.
Let it go.
Say hello, ladies.
Let it go. She was frozen.
Hey, hey.
Hello.
All right, let's see how these are doing. Hey, it's getting there, guys. Look at this. Can you see that?
Whoa, careful.
Let's not knock it off the counter.
Hello.
And Sharon wants to know what the temperature of the oven is set for the strawberry.
350, Sharon. 350 for the bread. Yes. Okay, I'm going to do this for about 20 more seconds, and then that should be good. And I'm telling you, that really saves work in the kitchen, because if you would have just melted chocolate chips or, white chocolate chips, whatever flavored chocolate chip you want to do, then you have to put shortening, and there's a process to be able to do this kind of a treat. But with these little beauties here, you can get them right at Walmart, and they have every color and every flavor you can think of. All of that work is done. All you got to do is melt it. So I'm very excited about that. Perfect. Look at this.
Looks
Can you
good.
see that? Okay. So now, because I'm going to do chocolate Oreos, the regular Oreos, these, I'm going to do these in the chocolate chips. And then my lemon cookies are going in here. So let's see. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get it all in there. I want to make sure you're seeing what I'm doing here. There we go. You kind of let it drip for a second. My family, are you able to see this?
A little bit.
Yes? Then I'm going to put it on parchment paper, and I'm going to use these sprinkles, and look at that treat for Valentine's Day. Is that the cutest thing ever?
Wonderful. Gloria Enfeld is with us. Hello, Gloria.
Hello, Gloria. Thank you so much for being here today. Okay, look at this. This is so easy, guys. So easy. Put it on the parchment, put your sprinkles, and there you go. And of course,
I want one.
yes, and of course the chocolate, the white chocolate or whatever flavor you're using is going to harden, okay? You can actually put them in the refrigerator, and then it'll harden, and then you've got these great little snacks. And so I bought these little bags, these little favor bags, and I'm going to put a lollipop, an Oreo pop in each one of these and tie it, and these are going to the family for Valentine's Day. So what an easy treat for Valentine's Day. Okay, while I'm doing this, we can kind of start our topic. Okay, so COVID, how much, guys, everybody out there, how much has COVID changed life? Like pretty much everything we do, everywhere we go, COVID has changed it. But because this is a cooking show, I'm going to talk about food and how it's changed. I'm going to leave that. Let's go over here. And how it has changed everything that we do when it comes to food. So, can you see everybody here on the camera, or do we need to move?
No, we'll have to make some adjustments here.
Okay. So, let me start by saying this. COVID-19 is a virus spread from person to person through respiratory droplets after someone has coughed, sneezed, talked. If someone sneezes and touches the surface of something, COVID can be spread. And this includes food. Unfortunately, this includes food. And so, let me explain. If someone, we're in the grocery store, which I'm not a big fan of doing that, anything where I'm out in public anymore, because it scares me. But let's say the person before us was walking down the aisle and went to get a loaf of bread. Can you guys see my family? I don't know if you can see them or not on the camera. Let me move my stuff here. I have my computer out just in case we wanted to look something up. So you're walking down, the person who was down the aisle shortly before you sneezed, who possibly has COVID. Now, let's see, I think this guy, he wanted to look at this loaf of bread and puts it down, and then, I'm not going to take that, I'm going to take this loaf of bread. Well, he has just touched a loaf of bread. Who's squeaking over here? And so, I mean, it's that easy for us to get COVID. So, I mean, what do we do about that? How do we stop the spread? Because I don't know if you guys realize. I mean, I never realized when COVID first came to be that you could get it through your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your eyes. So I guess it's any opening, right, on your face. Any opening on your face is how you can contract COVID. You guys just jump in when you have something to say. So that, I don't know about you, but like that kind of freaks me out. Now, I remember one of the doctors at the hospital actually got COVID at the hospital where Chris works, and he had to fly somewhere, and he had gloves on, he had a mask on, and he said the thing that I didn't do was put goggles on, and that's how he figured he contracted it. But so we got to be super careful. Now the CDC, which is the Center of Disease Control, and the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, say that there's no evidence, now we're talking strictly food, there's no evidence of the spread of the virus through food, okay, through food or in water. It's not spread through the food. It could be like basically on the packaging.
Correct.
Okay? So they have no evidence of like, cows were being put for market in whatever state and the cows had it. They're not saying anything like that. They have no evidence that anything like that happened. What they're saying is that once it's packaged and sent, that's how we can get it. So I say, before you do anything, when you go grocery shopping and you go home, scrub your hands. I mean, put your stuff away. You know what I'm saying? Because you're already touching things. But before you do anything, scrub your hands. Because that is, those things that have been touched or contaminated, the only way to prevent it from making you sick is by washing your hands. Everybody, family, what are your hand washing habits at this point?
I think for everybody, well, not everybody, but every time I go to the store, I always wait till I'm done putting all of my groceries away, and then I'll wash my hands really well, up past the wrist. I have like a hand sanitizer, because you're not always,
Right.
There's not always a sink and soap accessible to you right then and there. So I've got hand sanitizer on the diaper bag, hand sanitizer in my car, in my purse. I always just have one in different, like, carrying things that I'm going to have with me, so I can use it whenever I feel I need to. But my hands are constantly being washed every time I touch something that was held somewhere else for whatever period of time.
And I will tell you, like sometimes, when you go grocery shopping, let's say you bought a bunch of grapes. Don't just take the grape. You know what I'm saying? That's been our habit in the past, is before you even put the grapes away, you just grab one and you eat it. Two things. You don't know who else has touched that grape now, and your hands may not be clean yet. You've touched the cart, so it's things like that we just need to be diligent about. Don't just pop that little grape in your mouth, because it's not an innocent thing anymore. See what I'm saying? You've got to think about everything that you're doing now. Correct? Yes?
Yes. I know for me, like, it's made me think about, like, not touching stuff.
Yes.
Like,
I
I don't go through normally, like, if it's an avocado, they're gonna, somebody's gonna cut the outside off.
Right.
But if it's an apple, like, I don't touch apples unless I'm taking them. I don't buy apples unless they're in a, like, you know, sometimes you can get them, like, in a bag. I don't get those apples. So it's, like, it's really changed the way I think when I'm in the store. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny you said avocados because this last time I bought avocados, I mean, yeah, normally I'll rinse off apples or grapes and things, but I never do to rinse off my avocados.
Right.
Right. Yes.
You know, you're eating inside.
So you're using the
Right.
inside.
I found myself doing that because I'm like, well, I'm going to cut through it,
Right.
and who knows who's touched it.
Right.
So I actually washed off all of my avocados before I cut into them.
Right.
That was.
Well, that's one of the things that I'm saying about COVID and food is that everything that we do now, you really need to think about that way. You just have to, because if you're not, you're innocently picking up that loaf of bread. You're innocently popping a grape in your mouth, but you don't know where that bread or that grape has been. You don't know who's touched it. You don't know anything about it now. And so to prevent the spread of this and prevent yourself from getting really, really, really sick, you just got to be super diligent. You've got to think about every single thing that you do now. And it's pretty sad, but that being said, it is the time now. This is where we are. You know what I mean? Whether we like it or not, whether we don't want to be diligent or not, we have to be. They say never. Okay, so a lot of us are also, I don't know if you guys do this, but you know, I know Emily's always got like wipies, and you wipe a lot of things down. But they're saying that some people actually like spray, like you've got some kind of spray under your sink, and they're spraying like a disinfectant on things. But like it says, never wipe down cardboard or plastic packaging with disinfectants designed for hard surfaces because they can contaminate the food. You see what I'm saying? You can't just pull, like under my sink right now, I have this bleach cleaner stuff, and you would think like, oh, I'm just going to do the counter and then do my food, but that's a contaminant for the food. So you've got to be really careful. What are you doing to disinfect things that are not going to contaminate? Now you got a double whammy, you know, that you got to be careful of. It says if you must wipe something down, use like wipies that are not poisonous or, you know, whatever. Like maybe they're disinfectant things, but like they're safe for kids or whatever. You know, that kind of a wipey. I read a lot about that, by the way.
You do want to, you guys talked about, you know, cleaning the food. You do want to make sure that you rinse those things that are rinsable. Rinse them off, get the stuff off of the outside. Obviously, your fruits and vegetables and things like that can be rinsed. You want to try and make them clean prior to preparing them, and that's one of the best things that you can do.
If they have other opinions about that, because I got more stuff to talk about.
Okay.
I'm trying to still ice the cookies, by the way.
Well, Christine's working, and so what I will tell you too is going back to talking about being in the store and not wanting to go to the store and how this is transmitted. The recommendations for protecting yourself in public remain exactly the same as we've discussed for months and months and months, for a year now, about social distancing, staying 6 feet apart, and wearing those masks when you're out in public. Somebody sneezes, they're not wearing a mask, and they're infected. Those droplets are going to remain in the air for a very long period of time, and someone half an hour later walks down through that space. It is possible for those droplets to enter their lungs or through their eyes and make them sick. The viral load may not be very high at that point, but if you're wearing a mask when you sneeze, or you happen to have a mask on and you walk through somebody else's aerosolized particles, you are much more protected.
Absolutely. Who's saying that? I think one of the kids was talking. Okay, so now as far as food and fresh vegetables and fresh fruit, you really should do the same thing you've always done. You know, you have to rinse your fruit. Okay, so do the same exact thing. And they say you're just going to use cold tap water to rinse your fruits and vegetables. Cold tap water, rinse your fruits and vegetables. But that's a practice that you should have had even before COVID, you know, with fruits and vegetables. Grocery stores, to me, are very stressful. Now, you figure this. You got to worry about the people that you're shopping around. You got to worry about the carts, whether they were sanitized or not. How about when you go to pay and you're pushing the same little buttons on the credit card processing machine?
Yeah.
All of that stuff is like, it's such an easy way to be contaminated by this. So everybody in their car, everybody should have sanitizers in their car, okay? And when I do, yes, go ahead.
Also, when you're paying and you're using your credit card, have your own pen.
Or something to do the buttons,
A
yeah.
lot of times when you have to sign something or whatever, the cashier has a pen, but the cashier's touched it and 50 other people that day.
Yeah.
And guaranteed that pen's not been sanitized either. And I know a lot of places around here have, made some adjustments and said,
Hi, Judy. Hi, Angie.
cashless or whatever.
Yes.
You're still having to touch the same pen,
Right.
and that doesn't make it any better. That's not making it better.
That's
You
why.
don't have to touch.
That's why you have to be diligent yourself, because you know other people aren't being. And when it comes to food and safety and all that stuff, I mean, we need to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and our family. And I'm telling you, when I'm doing that number thing at the grocery store, trust me, when I get in the car, the very first thing that I do is I sanitize my hands. First thing. I don't care what store we are. I don't care whether it's a grocery store or not. I get in the car, am I right? And the first thing that we do is we sanitize our hands, which should be a practice for everybody now. I even sanitize the steering wheel and everybody should do that.
I do too.
Before everybody
I
should
do
do
too.
that also. I'll tell you what really saves. I mean, I am so thankful. And if you've never done it, do the Walmart shopping app, because to me that saves me from having to go in the store and going shopping. And I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like less and less and less people in Walmart are wearing masks. And so and that's where I shop most of the time. 90% of the time it's where I shop. I don't feel like getting that exposed every week when I have to go to the store. Ooh, I gotta go check my bread. So the Walmart app, if one of you have done it, will you please tell people what that is?
Well, and that's kind of what I was going to say, was that's, I think, the biggest change for me since COVID is that I do the Walmart pickup almost constantly. I avoid going into, especially, and we use Walmart, I think, as an example, because that's where the majority of people shop, I think, and it's usually the busiest store. So I do avoid going in there as much as possible. So the grocery pickup for me has just been something that I do now every week or every 2 weeks whenever I'm doing my shopping. And it's super easy to use. If you have the app on your phone.
Yes.
If you have the app on your phone, you just go in there, you search your items. You can also save your items to your favorites. So, like, if there's something that you're going to get every week.
Look at this, everybody.
It could be in your favorites. Those look good.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to cool these off.
Okay.
Keep going, Em.
What's nice
Where do you
also,
pick them up?
so it's on the south side of the building, where they're putting I think most Walmarts I've seen is the same. It's kind of like on the south end of the building.
Right.
I guess it depends on the direction Walmart faces, but but you'll see it has the grocery pickup area, and it's neat because when you're headed there, you mark that you're on your way, and then when you get there, it asks you what numbered spot you're at, and they have like 15 different spaces that are numbered, and you just type in, what number you're at, and then they bring it to your car and they load the trunk. They don't get out. You're not allowed to help them, and you're not allowed to tip them. So they put it right in your trunk.
Right. It is one of the best things ever in shopping, and nobody's shopping for you. They're shopping for what your brands and everything that you put on your list. They give you a certain time, like 1:45 in the morning, to change your order or add to your order. You go in. It's one person who brings your stuff, puts it in your car. I mean, the whole process is so awesome, and it prevents you from having to be exposed in the store. I love it, and that's all I do now is this Walmart pickup. I don't know if it's Walmart, if there's a special name for it or whatever, but that's the only way I shop right now, because to me it's the safest way to shop right now. And if you haven't done it, you gotta try it.
And in all fairness, there are other stores doing similar things.
Yes.
Walmart just happens.
They happen to have mastered this, though.
They do have it down well, and they're they're the largest retailer.
Emily, I can see you doing that.
It's funny. I just met the guy who's the manager of that whole department. He used to work at my store, and I met him the other day. We were talking.
Oh, you did?
I think you would be great at that, like shopping for people and
He said it's not as fun as it sounds.
oh really?
Hello, Mary Warden Good. Glad
Hi,
you're here
Mary.
with us.
Chris,
So,
bring the camera over here real quick.
okay.
I want to show that I'm doing more.
all right, guys,
Of
we're
those.
gonna go back into the kitchen here for a
You
second
guys
while we're
can
talking.
keep talking though.
The problem is if you did that, if that was your job to shop
I
for
was
other
gonna say
people's
so
stuff.
about the Walmart app that I love is that if you're on a budget, it totals everything as you select it.
Yes.
So, if your budget's $150 and you've, done $180, you just go back and, take off the items that you don't necessarily need that time. And
Okay, guys.
So,
No, that's true. That's true, Em. Okay.
And also,
This is going back in the oven.
have
And look at those, guys.
on the list. Or
Look at
you know,
those.
like
Okay.
they
Go
didn't
ahead and
have
get the
that
girls
size.
back on.
So they gave me two of the smaller sizes to the same price.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
they do substitutions. They'll get you the stuff.
They do substitutions. So, like, if they don't have, a lot of times the substitutions, by the way, they upgrade it. They don't make it like a terrible brand. So if I don't have my cheese or whatever, they'll give you like a bigger cheese. They didn't have the 8 ounce, so they gave you the 16 ounce for the same price. If they don't have an item, they automatically take it off of your list and they don't charge you. I mean, they've really got it down to a science. And in the day and age of the pandemic and COVID, to me it has turned out to be that's the only way I want to grocery shop right now. It's a great thing. So if you guys haven't tried it, oh my gosh, just go on Walmart.com. On the top left part of the page, you're going to see pickup and delivery. I can look it up actually. Pickup and something.
The thing is, this is, the pandemic has been horrible for a lot of people.
Yes.
But this is one of those like silver lining kind of things that I don't think is gonna go away.
I don't think so
No,
either.
I think it's-
No,
it's
I don't
very
think so
helpful.
either. I think it's here to stay.
Hello, Darren Rolls. Glad you're here.
Around for a long time because it's a convenience thing. People are doing a lot of online shopping, and this is one of those ways to do that.
Well,
You don't have to spend tons of time in the store and be around all kinds of people. And this is going to be one of those things that I think is, they're going to keep going because it's
Well, I
been
don't know
so
if they do
successful.
it. I don't know if they do it in Branson, but I think because somebody left where I was working
Let me make sure you-
and went to Branson West. Oh,
Yes,
those look good.
that's true.
Those look really cool.
Those are
They
delicious.
went to Branson West
Ooh, they smell so
to
good.
do
Show me
Yes.
to the camera.
the
buddy.
shopping. Like he's a shopper, and he does the curbside thing, and he loves it. He said it's great, but their
Yes.
store also does delivery.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, that would be nice too.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm doing the chocolate cookies.
Do you want me to come back over there?
Yeah, come on
Okay,
over.
I'm gonna
We
grab
can
the
still
camera,
keep
we'll go back
talking.
over.
So the next thing I was going to tell you about on the Walmart thing is restaurants. To me, guys, restaurants are stressful, but
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
restaurants follow precautions. Some don't. So I mean, I just stay home. I've been to one particular restaurant twice in a year, and even those 2 times that I went, and it was for occasions, but I was scared to death. And I said, I would rather just stay home. But what they're trying to do is, they're doing like outdoor, although outdoor you can't go right now, you'd freeze to death. But they're doing, more of the outdoor eating, more of the pickup stuff. What do you guys think about restaurants and eating out right now? You can show them for a minute.
Well, for me, when you said we were talking about food and COVID, that was the first thing on my mind was that we ate out a lot.
Before.
If we always on the go, so it's easy to pick up food, and I don't do that as much. That's changed tremendously on
Yeah.
how much we go out to eat. I can count on one hand in the last year how many times I've sat at a restaurant. It kind of freaks me out, and I see so many infractions like that
Yeah.
tables not masked and that waiter's not doing this, and so
Right.
it stresses me too much. So for me, COVID and food, we eat home.
That's
Like
what,
90% of the time, we eat home.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree. We eat home all the time. And you know me, I was
Yeah.
out every day,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but I won't do it anymore because it scares me to death, and I don't think everybody's following the right precautions. I really don't. And it's just, it's safer to, I think that really is like the biggest change
It is.
in COVID is how many restaurants have gone under because there's no people
Yeah.
going. But the smart thing that they have done is their drive-in stuff is huge, and a lot of these restaurants, like one of my things here says about, restaurants are trying to keep things going by offering sitting outside. And, you can't sit outside on a day like today that's 27 degrees outside.
Right.
You can't even get there. But, when the weather gets better, I wouldn't mind sitting outside somewhere. But I sure as heck am not, until we have this pandemic under control, it is not worth it to me to go sit somewhere and have to worry about every second that I'm there. Because my brain was going like, was the table washed good? Did the waitress's hands get washed? And I'm like, it's not worth the stress. So I don't know about you guys, but I would prefer. We're home. Like I don't even know how much of the time, but we're home. We stay home, right? That's what everybody's doing right now.
We have either sat in the car and
Yeah.
eaten, like gone through the drive-through and sat in the car,
Yeah.
or a few times we've ordered stuff, picked it up, and brought it back. I literally can count on one hand how many times I've been inside a restaurant
Same
since
here,
all the
yeah.
pandemic and everything started. And we have gotten stuff out, but we'll eat it at home, we'll eat it in the car. And it's
Yeah.
kind of weird, to like eat with your family in the car, but it's one of those necessary things. Like, if you're out and you're doing stuff, whatever errands, paying bills, and you need to eat, instead of going and sitting inside the restaurant, we're just outside, sitting in the car with the heat on.
Yeah, we
Well,
do
you
the same
talk
thing.
about-
I gotta
You
get more.
talk about, like, Walmart really nailed the whole curbside delivery thing.
Yes.
When you
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
fast food, Chick-fil-A nailed their delivery process. You know, they're,
Yeah, we did.
they don't touch your food. They hand you a tray and you grab your drinks and
Who's
your
this?
food.
Chick-fil-A.
Even your
Oh,
card.
Chick-fil-A,
You don't have
they
to put
mastered
your
it
number
too.
in. They did it so that you just put the card in. They don't touch your card. They don't, like, they nailed it.
They sure
And-
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really have, they have stepped up to the plate, and they really have done it right, where like nobody's touching your stuff, and you never have to touch their machines when you're paying and stuff
Right.
like that. And I mean, those things, that's,
Yeah.
you don't really think about, you know, even if you go to a grocery store and the cart was sanitized the right way, you think you're pretty safe as far as that goes. But then you've got all the exposure. But then when you go to pay, you're touching the same machine that everybody, God knows how many people before you have touched, and that's scary. Well, Chick-fil-A, man, I mean, I don't know of any other business that does it that way either. And they have it down to a science how they're handling this.
We're gonna swing back into the kitchen here for just a
Let's
moment.
face it, they have the people out there in those little boxes.
Right.
Or they have big heaters out there. When you pull up to their drive-through window, the person there, all those people there, they're heated. They have like outside heaters. They just really nailed the whole, like, okay, well, we can't have people sit inside. How do we perfect the drive-through? And I said that, like, somebody's going to perfect drive-through, takeout, like, and you got to look at Chick-fil-A for stuff like that, you know?
Right.
And we can ask Tommy, but I don't know if that's from the corporate down, like how to do that, or like what they're doing. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's a corporate thing, like you have to do it like this.
I'm sure it is too, because they really, they think about stuff like that all the time. I mean, when COVID first started, I remember when COVID started, Tommy was here. Our brother Tommy owns a Chick-fil-A in Nebraska. And I remember they were already, he had to go home early because they were already planning what they were going to do. I mean, at the get-go, you know, they were on it. Chris, come on over here.
So I'm going to let you know too. We have Raul Montiel with us,
Hi, Ron, how are
and Ann
you?
Harlan's on, and she's commenting about the fact that they use pickup services, they do drive-through services, and they'll use the touchless pay. What if they have to go into the grocery stores?
Right. Okay, right. All I'm doing, guys, on the little loaves is I made some icing, okay? And it's just powdered sugar and a little bit of milk. And I colored it with some red coloring, made it kind of like a dark pink. And I'm just icing the top. I put some parchment paper underneath the loaves to catch the mess. Because you know me, I don't want big messes at the end. I'll just pick up the paper and throw it in the trash. But here you go with my little loaves. Aren't they the cutest little thing? I've got 4 more loaves in the oven. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8. I got a dozen loaves out of 1 box of cake mix and some, what did I use? The raspberry, the strawberry pudding mix, instant strawberry pudding mix. And you get beautiful little loaves. And then look what I got over here, guys. I've got the Lollipops. I had lemon Oreos that I dipped in the white chocolate right here, okay? And then I put a topping on, and these are great little gifts. Look how pretty those came out, okay?
It's wonderful.
And then I've got the chocolate Oreos in the chocolate. Chocolate is still hardening up, but they are great little treats for Valentine's Day, and they're so easy. They are so easy to do. Let me dip another one in here so you guys can see how it goes. Well, that cookie just broke. Let's try another one that's not going to break. Okay. Anyway, I thought it was important to talk about how things have changed in the kitchen, at the store, all over the place since COVID has hit. I know, you know, we were types that we went to lunch, like literally almost every single day. We would go to lunch all the time. To me, it was more of a social thing. You got together with your friends, your family. We went to lunch all the time. And man, has that changed. I just won't do it anymore. What Chris and I do a lot, what are you saying, Mom? Mom doesn't drive. Life is difficult. So having lunch, right, for her, was a social thing every day. Exactly. So we would get Mom, and then we'd go, you know, sit somewhere. Mom and I have always loved to go to Cracker Barrel, and because I love the store and everything, you know. And that would be a part of our lives. And now, I mean, we just don't do that. So what we do is we'll drive through a restaurant and we'll go sit down at the lake. And we did that just this last week, just to get out. And it was pretty cold that day. It's been freezing, but so we just sat in front of the lake. And I was thinking, my God, those poor little ducks, aren't they freezing? Those poor little pigs. And they were even little ducks, and I thought, you can't tell me they're not cold.
They had a smile on them.
They're freezing.
I mean, nobody asked them if they were cold. I'm sure they're cold.
Think about it. They're the ones that are on like the coldest water in this town. Lake Como, any time of year, is always freezing, and they're the ones sitting on it. They can get out.
I mean, I just felt so bad for them poor little ducks. And Chris is saying, no, that's why they have their feathers and their down. And I'm like, I don't care how much down they have, they gotta be cold in that freezing.
They're freezing.
They're freezing. I love them, but it's just like, you know you're cold. Get off the water and huddle up.
And huddle, yeah.
You don't-
They
look,
still swim. Oh,
do you
what
ever-
do I
do
know?
you
I'm
ever
a Brooklyn
see-
girl. I mean, stuff like this is like, you know, nature stuff and animals is like.
Do you ever see a duck frozen to death on the water?
No.
Fine.
They enjoy themselves. They do it. They make the choice.
Okay,
I'm saying the biggest thing
Yeah.
for me with the pandemic and food is going out to eat has become harder for me because a lot of things like salads have been taken off of menus and things because of having to prepare certain stuff.
right.
Like in the grocery store,
Right.
they had the big salad bar. They don't have that anymore. They can't do that. So for me to go eat somewhere, I can't eat at half the places
Right.
that I used to be able to eat at because they don't have what I can eat.
Yes. Yes.
So that has been the biggest adjustment for me personally. You know, is what they're able to prepare.
Well, I mean, it's just everything. I don't know that there's a section of our lives that hasn't been affected in some way through COVID.
It's all
And
been
food
impacted.
is a huge, you know, we're doing a cooking show. Food is a huge part of that. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Carolyn, adding the color was a nice touch on my little loaves, yes. And people are getting the vaccines and stuff like that. So we're hoping that, and Carolyn is saying, did you get your vaccine? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she said they got their first.
You got your
the
first.
one.
Okay, well, very good. Well, and I mean, of course, that's going to help COVID. That's just going to help it. So I thank God that a lot of you are getting the vaccine. I have to be honest and say that I'm very on the fence with the vaccine. I'm still
Well, you're very
not
sensitive
sure.
to medication.
I'm sensitive
so
to medication. I've
you're
got
kind of-
medical issues, and I'm on the fence. But
Moderate.
I thank you for those of you, Chris, and for those of you who have gotten the vaccine. Thank you for doing that because that's going to help, you know, control this thing where, you know, that's what's got to happen.
You know, the vaccine to me is, it's too new, they don't have enough research, like, that's all in my head.
Yes.
For me personally, like, I don't know if you remember, but I never got vaccinated as a kid.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
I
And
couldn't get vaccinated because of my blood disorder, so any vaccine, I
Right.
mean, the flu, I never even got a flu shot. Like,
And
I can't, you know, like, nobody's told me I can't,
sure.
but I just never have.
So Jennifer, I would tell you that that's something because of that blood disorder that kept you from being able to get other vaccines. You would be concerned about that, and I would certainly talk to
Sure.
a doctor about that and an immunologist,
Right.
especially
Yeah.
if you can. What I will say, and you know, I'm very close to the situation doing the work that I do. The vaccine, although it is new, obviously it's brand new because it's a new disease, that the process of developing the vaccine, the mRNA vaccine that we have now, actually began quite some time ago to treat other to treat other viruses. The research was already being done, and so a lot of the trial work that people talk about skipping was not skipped. It was done in developing the vaccine, the process of that for other viruses. They've now adapted it to COVID.
Right.
So it really is, and has proven to be so far. There is some question about how long the efficacy will last, but it is being shown to be incredibly safe and very, very, very effective, at least in the short term.
When I say there's not enough research, when they do, to me, research isn't just the vaccine. The vaccine, like something can look in on paper, but the research in actual people, how people are responding to it, how people are people getting sick, or people getting preventing,
And
all that we don't have.
well, and again, a lot of that process has been done. That was done before COVID really even hit because of the adaptation to make it usable for COVID. But there literally are in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, that have been through the process. But yes, I do understand everybody's hesitancy and concern, and that is all those concerns are valid, and we understand that.
What I will say is, when I went to see my doctor last week, well, not only did she come covered up head to toe for a regular checkup,
Right.
She said herself, I asked her about me getting the vaccine, if she recommended it, and she said absolutely. She said, I'll be honest, COVID scares the crap out of me. And that was coming from a doctor. And then she said, I said, well, I'm just a little concerned. I said, because, there have been people that have died from it. I said, and most seem to be from that second round. And she said, I know that can happen if you have like an allergic reaction to something within the vaccine itself. She said, but so far we've done over 6,000 employees at Cox here, and only 4 people have gotten somewhat sick where they had to be treated. So 4 out of 6,000 is, I think, a pretty good.
That's a pretty good number, yeah.
And those are mild type reactions.
Yes. Okay, so let me go through because we're almost done with the show. First of all, can you guys see the little lollipops?
Yeah, they're cute.
Aren't those great? Are the kids in the room? They can see the lollipops?
I could walk over and get one.
Come on down.
And here's my little loaves. Look how cute those are. So there's dessert today. I just wanted to bring up a couple more things. It says, I've had COVID. Awful. Mom is saying they don't have, the cause, no, you can have a cure. Now they don't know the cause. How can you have a cure? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. A lot of us have questions about the vaccine. That doesn't mean you guys shouldn't get it. You should get it.
No,
if you're not afraid of the vaccine, if you're, you got to weigh things out, and if you're getting it, thank God, and thank you for doing that.
And
I
again,
appreciate it.
from a medical professional perspective, I understand those concerns. I'm not
Absolutely.
financially invested in any of the companies that do this stuff, but I will tell you, if you have the opportunity, I would encourage you to do so. It is very safe and saves lives.
Yes. Okay, so let me go through my last few notes here because we're gonna end in about 5 minutes. It says, since the initial cases of COVID were associated with fresh fish in China. Now, I don't know how true that statement is.
I haven't heard that at all.
But it does say, research has shown that the virus can live on salmon for up to 1 week. Did everybody know that? I mean, I don't eat salmon, but, and you guys can, if you know other than that, I'm not trying to scare anybody and tell you don't eat salmon, but it's, I mean, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, that's me.
Be careful
But that's
with
cooking
time
before you cook it. I was gonna say, if you're
before you cook it.
If
'Cause,
you're cooking
yes.
it, you're killing the virus.
So then the next thing I had was if you cook food to the right temps, you can protect yourself from lots of bacteria and viruses.
Absolutely.
So if you're cooking your food, you know, don't eat semi-cooked chicken and pork and stuff like that. Just cook it, because then you're going to cook out any kind of stuff that can be harmful. There have
And you
been,
know, I just
yes.
finished my ServSafe
You want to
manager's,
take that out?
ServSafe, the program certification,
Yeah,
and everything used to be 155 degrees.
right.
That's changed. Every pork, chicken is 165 now.
165, yeah.
Yeah,
165.
yeah.
You better temp. And I temp, even though I know, I
Yeah.
can see visually
Yeah,
that
right.
something's cooked.
You
I
test
temp
it.
I need to get one of
Everything.
Yeah, you just be, you know, just be safe,
I don't
man.
have
Just
a
be
meat
safe.
thermometer, but I need to get one.
Yeah.
You need to get one.
Yeah, you just need to be safe and just make sure everything is cooked.
Yep.
Period. Make sure everything's cooked. Which was really the premise of the show today, is what can we do in the kitchen and stores, and how do we protect ourselves with food. Okay, then there have been outbreaks of COVID in 23 states at meat and poultry processing facilities, but not in the food. The outbreak was the people
Right.
working. So
Because they work very in close proximity.
they're in
to one
very
another.
close proximity, and 23 states had COVID outbreaks in these meat and poultry processing places because of where they have to be, where they have to stand, and stuff like that. But the food itself has never been, they have no evidence at all that the food has been contaminated. So, you know, here you go back to, there's no spacing. That, you know, you don't have 6 feet between the workers, which is very, very unfortunate, because now 23 states have had outbreaks in these facilities. Again, I talked about restaurants are doing outdoor dining, spacing people in the dining rooms, requiring masks from customers and workers. My problem is cashiers and servers are still touching your food. It's safer to eat at home. Period. Bottom line, it's safer to eat at home. And to me, the best way to prevent the getting it, contracting it, is that you wash your hands, you stay away. There are people in stores that just don't get that 6-foot thing, and they just don't get it. So if you're on a line and they've moved up, move away, because they're obviously not worried about their surroundings. You have to be careful and take care of you and your surroundings. And so when people are just not heeding that, 6 feet thing, and we've all experienced that in the store. Every one of us has experienced where, they don't care about the 6 feet. I do. So if it means you remove yourself, that's what you got to do. And wash your hands, because the hand washing thing is huge in preventing this.
Well, so the kids were on a snow day. Well, they're on a snow day today, but the other day they were on a snow day. And one of the things that I had to have Nicholas watch was a video on how to wash your hands.
Right.
And I would suggest everybody going on YouTube and watching a video on how to properly wash your hands, because I can guarantee you a lot of us are not doing that correctly too.
You're supposed to sing the alphabet or something for the timing.
Right.
Maybe it's like 30 seconds.
They showed these kids like scrubbing their fingernails, their wrists and part of their arms and everything, like how to literally scrub your hands the right way. And he watched it, and then I said, okay, let's go wash your hands. And he did what they did in the video.
Really?
Yeah, you're supposed to wash your hands for 30 seconds, but are you scrubbing your hands correctly? In the way that you're going to kill all the germs and everything that you're touching.
Right.
It's a really big thing, especially for little kids to watch. So, if you have little kids and you're teaching them how to wash their hands, put on one of those videos I mean, it was great. It was great. And I mean,
Well,
they
that's
did
awesome.
it to where it was really cute. He paid attention the whole time and learned how, yourself too, learn how to properly wash your hands.
Okay.
You know.
Well, that'll help. I mean, really, the best thing we can offer is wash your hands, stay away from people, and get my cookbook.
There you go. That's the best.
Because, and I say this because, and I added it at the end because this whole thing is geared towards cooking fast and stuff. And now, because we still have life going on out there, everything in here is easy. So it helps in the kitchen because now we're all home. We're home cooking. I don't know that I've cooked in my entire adult life as much as I cook now because we ate out a lot.
I haven't.
No, we ate out a lot. Our family was famous for, if somebody got a star in school that day, oh, let's go out to eat. Oh, it's birthdays and anniversaries and whatever it is and we'd go celebrate together and sit somewhere. Today's Tuesday, so let's go have Taco Tuesday. Well, now you have Taco Tuesday at home. And so what I'm saying is my cookbook, honest to goodness, has 60 recipes that are very easy, fast, easy, and delicious. If you don't have one of these, folks, come on now. You got to get one because it helps. That, it's geared towards the trying to get you in and out of the kitchen fast. And if we're cooking, we've got to cook. It's every night. These recipes are great. Okay, I want to thank my family for our panel today, even though we couldn't be here at the house together. Thank you guys for talking about COVID and food. I think it's important to talk about this right now. Here again are my little, look how cute those are just the cutest little things ever. And I know the grandkids are going to love these things. And then of course I've got my little strawberry breads that this whole kitchen,
That's
guys.
what I want to try.
That's it. One thing I'll tell you is you're missing out. The smell in the kitchen right now is absolutely amazing. So here, look.
We need to invent smell-o-vision.
I know we do. Hey guys, next week on my Cooking Nooks Fed Up, I'm actually, every other week I cook a meal, and then and the second and fourth Wednesdays we do the dessert and we do our talk and treats. So next week is, I'm going to be making giant pasta shells, stuffed shells, and we're going to be using our sponsor, Kathy's. You want to get Kathy's sauce real quick? Kathy Pagliato, who's just going crazy right now, selling her delicious Italian sauce. We're going to be using Kathy's sauce next week. Let me show you her pasta sauce right here. So this is Cucina di Caterina Italian gravy and sauce, and this is delicious sauce. And Kathy is our sponsor, and we're going to be using Kathy's sauce next week to go over our stuffed shells. And I'm also going to be making a really delicious big giant antipasto salad. So you got to tune in. So
it's going to be delicious.
It's going to be delicious.
Real quick, the YouTube channel.
Yes.
We are now putting up some exclusive
Oh,
shorter videos.
Yes.
that are only available on YouTube. So please go check us out on
Yes.
My Cooking Nook on YouTube.
And we have, and he just put my salsa, my 3-minute salsa. You gotta, it's absolutely amazing salsa. If I could figure out a way to get it jarred, I will. But it's a great salsa. What?
Ask your sponsor.
Ask Kathy, yeah.
The next short video coming out is one of my favorites, the Italian meatball soup that you did back in first season.
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, anyway, we thank you guys for being with us today. You can always go and watch the show. If you're out there and you didn't get to watch it during the live, you can go to YouTube tonight and watch. This was season 2, episode 2 of Fed Up Talk and Treats. We want to thank you all for being here today, and we'll see you next Wednesday for our Italian kitchen. We love you guys. Bye-bye. And happy Valentine's Day.